You became an entrepreneur to make money. And don't forget, you became an entrepreneur to have a life. This is the Savvy Podcast, helping entrepreneurs connect with the vision that's bigger than themselves. Learn how to stop trading in your wife or husband and kids for your success. Get ready to have your beliefs about traditional leadership methods challenged and learn how to enjoy massive productivity gains and in less time than you can believe. This is the Savvy Podcast.
Welcome to the Savvy Podcast. I'm Tim Marshall, and today I have the privilege of hosting John Ramstead for a brief chat. John is an author, speaker, leadership coach, and host of the Eternal Leadership Podcast that Inc. magazine named as the top 12 leaders to listen to. John is a former Navy pilot, Fortune 500 manager, and a serial entrepreneur who has survived a near-fatal horseback riding accident in 2011. John and his wife of 30 years, Donna, have 3 sons, 1 grandson, and 2 dogs. So welcome, John. It's a privilege to have you with us today. And whereabouts on this entertaining planet we call Earth are you currently residing?
It's great to be with you, Tim, and love what you're doing. And I'm in Denver, Colorado.
Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's how's this environment currently impacting you?
Oh, you mean the wildfires or all the politics and crazy stuff that's happening here? I mean, we got a lot
the wildfires are pretty crazy. The wildfires are pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, like there's days we can't even see the mountains.
It's frightening.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot that, what I love about what you're doing is, right, there's so much good I think we can do through business, through leadership. This is my opinion. Politics isn't going to solve anything. It takes people like us rising up, building great companies, investing in people. And that's what's going to fix a lot of the stuff that we're seeing.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I couldn't agree more. So, you know the drill. It's 7 minutes, 7 questions. So we'll kick off with a timer and we'll get underway. So who is your ideal client?
My ideal client is what I would call a purpose-driven entrepreneur. I love working with companies where they understand that it's not about just what you do, what you're making, and the service you provide, but that also through that company and the revenue that you generate and the people that you're stewarding and that you're with, that you're actually trying to accomplish something in the world that's greater than just what that company does. And I also think that is huge for connecting your people to what you're doing and creating just amazing cultures.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, we talk about having a vision that's bigger than yourself. So that sounds identical. So number 2, what's the problem you solve for these leaders?
Well, the biggest problem we solve, thinking about it this way, if you look at the leadership industry, Tim, here in the U.S., over the last 3 years, this came out from Harvard, we spend $25 billion a year on leadership.
Yes.
And I would just ask everybody listening, do you think we have a leadership crisis? Not just in government, but business and just everywhere you look. And the leadership industry focuses on the why, the what, and the how, and those are very important. But I think what's foundational underneath that is who you are.
Yeah.
So the problem that we solve is helping people become the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
Because if you think about any leadership role that you're in, I was just working with a company with 150 employees, and I just got off the phone with a client call with a client that has 85,000 employees.
Yes.
This is just front of mind as we promote people, and they're trying to figure out, how do I succeed in a leadership and people role when I'm really good technically, which is why I got promoted. Yeah. And 70% of, I think, the success of any company is going to be from those leaders and those managers, those first line leaders in an organization.
Yeah, so true, so true. So if someone's sitting here listening to this or watching this today, and what are the typical symptoms that they might experience when they have that sort of little leadership crisis going on?
Well, we'll just think about where you work now. Are people gossiping? Yeah. Are they coming up and saying, hey, did you see what Tim did in that meeting? That is a cancer in an organization. That comes from a very low level of trust.
Yeah.
How are people handling conflict? Conflict, if we have a lot of trust, can be something that creates an incredible amount of innovation. How are we communicating? Look at the work that you're doing in your environment. How much rework has to get done? Yeah. Or when you get stuff from certain people, you know that you have to double check it and triple check it to make sure it's good quality work, but you don't want to go give people feedback.
Yeah.
So I think what you're seeing is in an environment where you look at your folks, if you left for a week and came back, would your organization be better or worse? Yeah. And if it would be worse, you have some things to work on.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love that. And so I could jump in and answer this question for you, but I'm going to let you answer it. So what are the common mistakes that people make when they're trying to solve that problem? Like they're aware it's there. What do they, and I think we've touched on it briefly already, but I'd love to hear you explain it.
I don't believe that we've really made it a priority or that it's really even been modeled to us. How do we mentor people? How do we take the time to coach people? How do we develop the kind of quality of relationships where we can actually give people the feedback that they need to get? A lot of times we're so concerned about how people feel about us instead of being concerned about what is in your best interest. I've gotten feedback from some bosses that became amazing mentors, which was really hard to hear, but they came from a place that I knew they had a good heart and they wanted the best for me.
Yes.
And so there's a lot that we can do, but we have to make developing people an equal priority to developing what they do, whether it's customer service or software engineering or whatever that happens to be.
Yeah, so true, so true. I have people say to me, you know, what is the silver bullet? And I said, well, some of the things that we talk about is, you know, the greatness is already inside of you. We just empower you to connect with a vision that's going to help you reach in and draw that out. So it's very similar to what you're talking about there, which is super exciting. Question number 5, and we've got 2 minutes and a half left here, but what's one valuable free action that the audience can implement that will help them further with this problem?
Well, here's something that they can do, Tim. You mentioned my accident, which was now 9 years ago. I was in the hospital for 2 years. And coming out of that, I realized I really wanted to live a life differently. So I really had that in a powerful impact on people. And my entire journey, which is now the foundation of the teaching and coaching I do, I just wrote a book. So if people go to beyondinfluence.com/book,
beautiful.
You can sign up. You'll get a copy of the book when it comes out. At least get a free chapter. We're trying to figure all that out right now, but you will get something at no cost and no obligation because I know. Well, my hope is I put all the work into writing this book just to help people get to a place that I found.
Beautiful. That's so powerful. So I've actually jumped on there myself this morning and popped my name and email address on there. So I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out of that. So that's really, really exciting. So you've just answered number 6, which is fantastic. So we'll jump on to number 7. So from all your years of experience, what's the most valuable free tip that you can give people today?
When I was heading down to flight school, and this was right after Top Gun came out, there was we were told out of every 10,000 people that apply, one person's going to get in. And as I was heading down there, my dad pulled me aside and said, listen, when you get down there, there's going to be one person, a student, everybody's talking about, and you need to go get to know him and figure out what they're doing. And I did that. And that person helped me graduate number 1.
Beautiful.
The best tip I can tell people is go find people that are where you want to be in life. And you'd be amazed. Even some of these people you feel almost unreachable, they want to help. Somebody mentored them. And I would encourage people to reach out and find people to mentor them, help them, challenge them, help them make better decisions. And it'll accelerate everything that you're doing.
Beautiful. And you're basically smack on the money as far as 7 minutes. We've got about 10 seconds to go. So that's absolutely fantastic. You said you were going to be succinct, and you sure were. And I couldn't agree more on all the points that you've shared. And the alignment is very, very similar. And there'll be many within the audience that are looking forward to reaching out and getting on that list for that book. So it's been a privilege to have you, John, absolute privilege. And thank you for your time. And no doubt we'll be chatting again in the future.
Yes, I look forward to it. Thank you, Tim. And keep knocking them alive out there, brother.
Cheers, man.
You've been listening to the Savvy Podcast. helping entrepreneurs connect with a vision that's bigger than themselves, stopping the trading in their wife and husband and kids for their success. We hope you've gotten some useful and practical information from this show, and we hope you had fun along the way. We know we did. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, if you want to know more about the Savvy Method, hit the website at www.thesavvymethod.com. We'll see you again soon.